The rain-slicked streets of Willow Creek gleamed under the sodium lamps as I slammed the diner door behind me, heart pounding from the latest round of small-town whispers that had chased me all evening. I'd just overheard my ex, Tyler, laughing with the bartender about how I'd always been too much for this place. Too queer, too open, too everything. And it stung like the cold November wind whipping through my jacket. But then I saw him, striding out of the fog like a ghost from my bullied childhood. Jordan Hale, my unbreakable shield, the boy who'd punched out half the football team to keep me safe, now towering there with a diamond ring glinting on his fiancée's finger as she clung to his arm. Jordan's eyes locked on mine across the parking lot, and in that split second, the world narrowed to just us. The way his jaw tightened, the flicker of something raw and unguarded in his hazel stare that made my stomach twist. He hadn't changed much, broad shoulders filling out a wool coat, that same easy confidence masking the storm I'd always sensed brewing inside him. But I had. At 28, I'd built walls higher than Willow Creek's old mill dam, convinced no one from my past could ever see the real me without running. "Alex," he called, voice rough like gravel under tires, stepping forward as his fiancée. Elena, I later learned, shot me a polite smile that didn't reach her eyes. And just like that, the protector who'd vanished a decade ago was back, unraveling every scar I'd sewn shut. We'd been inseparable as kids, Jordan and I, in this forgotten corner of upstate New York where cornfields stretched like judgmental fingers toward the horizon. He was 3 years older, the golden boy next door with a laugh that could thaw a blizzard and fists that flew when anyone dared call me Fairy during recess. I was the scrawny kid with paint-stained fingers and dreams of escaping to New York City, sketching portraits of boys who looked like him in my hidden notebooks. Willow Creek wasn't kind to differences back then. My parents, devout Methodists, prayed harder for my phase to pass, while Jordan's folks ran the hardware store and pretended their son's absences from church youth group were just teenage rebellion. He never said why he protected me so fiercely. I assumed it was brotherly loyalty, the kind that didn't question itself. But he'd left for college in Buffalo without a real goodbye, chasing engineering scholarships and a life bigger than our zip code. Letters dwindled to holiday cards, then nothing. I stayed, burying my queerness under layers of sarcasm and part-time gigs at the library, falling into a string of messy relationships that always ended with someone echoing the town's verdict. Too sensitive, too dramatic. Tyler had been the latest casualty, a charming barista who'd promised forever until the whispers wore him down. Now, 10 years later, Jordan was back for his mother's retirement party, Elena in tow, her Instagram-perfect life a stark contrast to the faded awnings of Main Street. The diner reunion stretched into an awkward coffee the next morning. Elena excused herself to check emails, while Jordan and I sat in a vinyl booth that smelled of burnt toast and regret. "You look good, Lex," he said, using the nickname that always made my chest ache, his fingers drumming the formica like he was testing the waters. I forced a grin, stirring sugar into black coffee I didn't want. "Engaged suits you. When's the big day?" He leaned back, that old shadow crossing his face, the one I'd glimpsed when he'd wiped blood from his knuckles after defending me. "Next summer. She's great, stable, you know? Gets me." But his eyes lingered on my mouth a beat too long, and I wondered if the coffee was suddenly too hot or if it was the flush creeping up my neck. Word spread fast in Willow Creek, as it always did. By afternoon, my phone buzzed with texts from Mia, my best friend since high school drama club, who ran the town's only yoga studio and identified as non-binary, their pronouns a quiet rebellion in a place that still debated bathroom signs. Jordan Hale? The Jordan? With a girl? Spill. We'd bonded over shared outcast status. Mia coming out as queer in a town that equated it with sin, me navigating the fallout of my first crush on a boy who ghosted me after prom. They were the one who'd held me through Tyler's breakup, reminding me that love wasn't a transaction. I met them at the studio that evening, the air thick with lavender incense and the hum of Tibetan bowls. "He's different," I confessed, folding into child's pose on the mat, voice muffled against the floor. Mia's laugh was gentle, their voice a soothing alto. "Or you're seeing him differently now. Childhood heroes don't stay frozen, Alex. What if he's bi? Or questioning?" "Elena's pretty," But pretty doesn't erase history. Their words planted a seed I tried to uproot, but as I drove home past the Hale family store, lights blazing, "Welcome back, Jordan," banner strung crooked across the window, it took root. Late that night, scrolling old photos on my phone, I found one from summer camp. Jordan shirtless by the lake, arms slung over my shoulders, both of us grinning like the world was ours. Something in his eyes then mirrored what I'd seen yesterday. Coincidence? Or the universe finally cashing in on a debt? The engagement party was a week later, crammed into the VFW hall with folding chairs and a cash bar that served watery beer. Willow Creek had rolled out the red carpet. Old-timers slapping Jordan's back, his dad beaming like he'd won the lottery, Elena gliding through in an emerald dress that screamed city sophistication. She'd moved here from Syracuse, a graphic designer with a laugh like wind chimes, and everyone cooed over how she fit right in. I arrived late, fashionably rumpled in jeans and a button-down, Mia at my side in a flowing blouse and slacks, their silver cufflinks catching the fluorescent glow. "Act natural," they whispered, squeezing my elbow. But natural fled when Jordan spotted us across the room, his smile faltering just enough to notice. He pulled me aside during the toasts, the air heavy with cigarette smoke from the patio doors. "Didn't think you'd come." His breath was warm against my ear, cologne mixing with the faint pine of his aftershave, a scent I'd once associated with safety. "Wouldn't miss seeing you squirm in a tie," I teased, but my pulse betrayed me, thudding like a bass line. Elena called him back for cake cutting, her hand possessive on his waist, and I watched from the shadows, Mia murmuring, "That look? Not brotherly." The cake was vanilla with buttercream roses, too sweet, sticking in my throat as Jordan's gaze found mine over the knife, holding it like a promise. Days blurred into a tentative rhythm. Jordan started dropping by the library where I curated exhibits on local history, pretending to browse microfiche while asking about my sketches, art I'd abandoned after college rejection letters piled up like autumn leaves. "You were always talented," he'd say, leaning on the circulation desk, Elena's photo as his lock screen a silent barrier. One afternoon, as snow dusted the windows, he lingered after closing. "Walk with me." The streets were hushed, our boots crunching virgin powder toward the old creek bridge where we'd skipped stones as kids. "Why'd you leave like that?" I finally asked, breath fogging the air. He stopped, hands shoved deep in pockets. "Scared, I guess. Of staying small. Of things I couldn't name." His voice cracked on the last word, and when our shoulders brushed, neither pulled away. Mia hosted a game night at their apartment above the studio, neutral ground, they called it, with queer flags draped like tapestries and a spread of vegan tacos. Jordan showed up solo, Elena swamped with work, and the air crackled with unspoken rules. We played cards against humanity, laughter sharp as shattered ice, but Jordan's knee pressed against mine under the coffee table, unmoving. Mia caught my eye, arching a brow. They'd brought Riley, their partner, a soft-spoken trans man from Ithaca who fixed bikes and quoted Audre Lorde like scripture. "To love someone is to see the face of God," Riley said during a lull, and Jordan's gaze dropped to his cards, throat working. That night, as snow fell thicker, Jordan walked me home. At my doorstep, porch light haloing his face, he hesitated. "Alex," a car horn blared. Elena's Prius idling at the curb, headlights slicing the dark. "There you are," she called, waving. He stepped back, the moment fracturing. "Night, Lex." I lay awake after, replaying the almost, the what-ifs piling like drifts. Winter deepened, Willow Creek cocooned in frost. Jordan threw himself into helping at the store, stocking shelves with Elena's efficient suggestions, but he'd text me late. Memes about bad engineering puns, photos of the creek frozen solid. Mia warned me over herbal tea at the studio. "You're playing with fire, babe. Engaged men don't just text." But Riley nodded thoughtfully. "Sometimes fire's the only way to thaw." Their own story, meeting at a pride rally, navigating family pushback, mirrored mine too closely, a reminder that love in Willow Creek was a gauntlet. The first crack came at the holiday fair, twinkling lights strung across the square like stolen stars. Jordan and Elena manned a booth selling handmade ornaments, her laughter drawing crowds while he scanned for me. I volunteered at the hot cocoa stand with Mia, steam rising like ghosts in the cold. "Go talk to him," Mia urged, shoving a mittened hand at a stack of cups. When I approached, Elena was demoing a glitter-dipped pine cone. Alex, Jordan's told me all about your adventures. Her smile was genuine, but her eyes assessed, lingering on the rainbow pin on my lapel. Adventures? Jordan echoed, a laugh forced. We chatted surface level, weather, old teachers, until she stepped away for more ribbon. She's observant, he muttered, twisting an ornament hook. Asked about you today? Why we're close. My heart stuttered. What did you say? He met my eyes, raw. The truth. That you were my best friend. That I missed you. The words hung, heavy as hoarfrost. A kid bumped between us, shattering the bubble, but as I walked away, I felt his stare burning tracks in my back. New Year's Eve loomed, the town hall decked in silver garland for the annual dance. Mia dragged me, Riley in tow, promising queer solidarity in sequence. Jordan and Elena would be there. Of course, the engaged couple spotlight. I arrived in a velvet blazer, nerves jangling like keys. The gym echoed with bad covers of Auld Lang's sign. Punch bowls sweating condensation. Spotting Jordan across the floor, tie loosened, Elena twirling with his dad, I dove into the crowd. Mia pulled me onto the dance floor for a slow song, their head on my shoulder. He's watching, they whispered. I didn't look, but I felt it, the pull like gravity. Midnight neared, confetti cannons primed. Elena found me by the bleachers, solo for once. Can we talk? Her voice was steady, eyes kind but piercing. We stepped outside, air crisp with promise. Jordan lights up around you, she said, hugging her arms. Like I've never seen. It hurts a little. My mouth went dry. He's your fiancé. She nodded, tears glinting. I know, but love's not a checklist. I've suspected he's bi for months, denials, but the signs. And you? You're the sign. Shock rooted me. She'd known. What do you want me to say? She smiled sadly. Nothing. Just be honest with him. With yourself. The countdown echoed inside, and she slipped back in, leaving me reeling. At stroke of 12, fireworks burst over the square, cheers erupting. I found Jordan in the throng, Elena's hand in his, but his eyes sought mine. Happy New Year, Lex, he mouthed over the din. The crowd surged, bodies pressing, and suddenly he was there, arms wrapping me in a hug that lingered past platonic. Missed this, he breathed into my hair. Elena watched from afar, her nod subtle, a release. January brought blizzards that buried roads, forcing intimacy. Jordan shoveled my walk one morning, Elena, visiting family, in Syracuse. Storm's bad, he said, stamping snow from boots inside. We brewed tea, talked for hours, his college flings that didn't stick, the pressure to settle. Always felt like I was running from something, he admitted, staring into his mug. From you. I whispered. Silence stretched, then his hand covered mine, thumb tracing knuckles. Maybe. God. Lex, I don't know. The kiss that followed was tentative, snow melting on windows, tasting of chamomile and confession. But as tires crunched outside, Elena's return, the guilt crashed in. She confronted him that night. I heard the raised voices from my window across the street. Mia called at dawn. He's a mess. Come over. At the studio, Jordan paced, eyes red-rimmed. She called it off. Said she deserved someone all in. Devastation warred with relief in his voice. I love her as a friend. But you. It's always been you. The admission hung, fragile. Yet town eyes turned sharper. Whispers of the gay librarian snatching the hometown hero. Prejudice simmered. At the grocery, Mrs. Hargrove, church pillar, hissed, shame on you, leading him astray. My dad cornered me at Sunday dinner, Bible thumping the table. Fix this, son, before you ruin him like you ruined yourself. Isolation crept, friends dividing. Mia and Riley my anchors, but even they tired of the drama. Fight for it, Mia urged during a heated yoga session, poses twisting like our lives. Or let go. The climax brewed at the spring town meeting, budget debates masking deeper divides. Jordan spoke for store upgrades, voice steady. But afterward, a faction cornered him, old guard decrying moral decay since that library boy's influence. Fists clenched, he defended me publicly. Alex is the best of us. If you can't see that, you're the problem. The room hushed, prejudices cracking like thin ice. We met at the creek that night, water rushing free of winter's grip. "I'm done hiding," he said, pulling me close. But surprise struck, a letter from Elena, forwarded. "Go be happy. I found my spark elsewhere." Forgiveness, unexpected. Our kiss then was fierce, no reservations, love blooming defiant. Yet conflict lingered. My own doubts surfaced in therapy sessions Mia recommended, fear of repeating past hurts. Jordan's family pushed reconciliation with Elena, societal noose tightening. A blow-up came during a hike, accusations flying. "Are you sure? Or just rebelling?" Tears mixed with trail dust. "I'm sure," he roared. "I've loved you since we were kids, scared to admit it." Reconciliation unfolded slowly. Pride Month approached, Willow Creek's first tentative event. Mia organizing, Jordan volunteering. We stood hand in hand at the booth, rainbows fluttering. Doubts melted in cheers, prejudices yielding to progress. My sketches returned, portraits of us now framed in the library. Summer wedding bells tolled, not Elena's, but ours, small ceremony by the creek. Vows exchanged under sun-dappled leaves. "You were my protector, now we're each other's." Mia officiated, Riley grinning. The town, changed or not, witnessed. In Willow Creek, love wasn't easy, riddled with misunderstandings, biases tested, surprises unveiled. But with Jordan's hand in mine, the gaze that once protected now promised forever. Something had changed us. The summer after Jordan's proposal, Willow Creek buzzed with a tentative acceptance, like the town itself was holding its breath, waiting to exhale judgment or grace. We'd kept the engagement quiet at first, whispers still sharp as switchblades from those who clung to old ways. But Mia's pride event had cracked the dam. Rainbow flags lingering on porches longer than usual, a few kids asking shy questions at the library about boys who like boys. I curated a display on queer icons. Audre Lorde, James Baldwin, local stories I'd unearthed from dusty archives. Jordan helped hang the posters, his toolbox traded for thumbtacks, a quiet solidarity that made my heart swell. But peace was fragile. Elena's return for a closure visit stirred the pot. She'd parked her rental car outside the hardware store, blonde hair catching sunlight like a halo, and Jordan had frozen mid-hammer, face paling. "What is she doing here?" he'd muttered, and I'd felt the old insecurity claw up, her poise against my rumpled sweaters, her certainty where I still second-guessed. Mia, ever the mediator, invited her to tea at the studio. No secrets, they insisted. Over chamomile, Elena unfolded her side. The Syracuse job that reignited her career, a new girlfriend named Sarah, met at a design conference, sparks immediate. "I wasn't wrong about you too," she said. I soft on Jordan. Just wrong for me to ignore the signs. Forgiveness flowed, but it unearthed Jordan's guilt, nights where he'd toss beside me, murmuring apologies to shadows. Friendships strained under the weight. Tyler, my ex, resurfaced at the diner, nursing a beer and a grudge. "Stole the straight guy, huh?" Classic Alex move. His words, laced with the bitterness of our split, ignited a row that spilled onto the sidewalk. Mia intervening as fists nearly flew. "He's projecting," they said later, patching my scraped knuckles with their first aid kit. Riley nodded, his comma balm. People lash out when their world's upended. Like when I transitioned, family radio silence for months. Their story grounded me, reminders that growth hurt, but roots deepened. Jordan dove into planning our wedding, sketches of venues scribbled on store receipts, the old mill for its rustic beams, or the lakeside pavilion for sunset vows. "Something simple," he said, tracing my palm with his thumb during late-night talks. But simplicity eluded us. His mom, Evelyn, hosted a family dinner that devolved into ambush, his uncle railing about lifestyle choices over pot roast, Bible verses brandished like weapons. Jordan's voice rose, steady thunder. "This is my life, Uncle Ray. Alex is my life." We left early, air thick with unspoken fractures, but in the truck, his hand found mine. "I'm not losing you to them." My own family echoed the discord. Dad's calls grew curt, sermons disguised as concern. "Pray on it, son. God's got a plan." Mom sent clippings from conversion therapy sites, her silence on the phone louder than words. Isolation nipped at heels, but Mia's circle expanded it. Introducing us to Theo, a pansexual teacher from the next town, and Lena, a lesbian farmer with calloused hands and quick wit. Game nights evolved into support circles, laughter a shield against the chill. A surprise conflict erupted mid-July, heat wave shimmering asphalt. Jordan's old college buddy, Mark, rolled in for a visit. Beer gut, bro handshake, tales of frat glory. Over barbecue at the creek, he cornered Jordan by the grill. Dude, what the hell? Engaged to a chick 1 minute. Now this? Midlife crisis. The words landed like punches, Jordan's face storming. I overheard from the picnic blanket, heart sinking. That night, alone in our apartment above the store, Elena's old space, repurposed, he confessed the doubt Mark unearthed. Am I just rebelling against Dad's expectations? Or is this real? Tears tracked his cheeks, vulnerability cracking the protector facade. I held him, whispering truths we'd built. The glances, the almosts, the now. Real as the creek running. The high school reunion amplified tensions. Gym transformed into a nostalgia trap with disco lights and 90s playlists. Willow Creek's ghosts paraded. Bullies turned car salesmen, offering backslaps laced with side-eye. Tyler sidled up, drunk on nostalgia punch. Heard you're tying the knot. Hope it's not another train wreck. Mia, in a killer pantsuit, shut him down with a glare. Evolve or evaporate, Ty. Jordan danced with me to Wonderwall, oblivious to stares, his hand firm at my waist. But later, in the parking lot, his ex-roommate from Buffalo cornered us. Out and proud, but probing. You sure about small-town life, man? City's got options. Seeds of wanderlust planted, Jordan quiet on the drive home. August brought monsoons, flooding basements and emotions. We argued over venues, me favoring the intimate mill, him the public pavilion to show them. Why perform? I snapped, rain lashing windows. Because hiding got us here, he shot back. Mia mediated over wine, Riley sketching compromise, a hybrid, mill ceremony, lakeside reception. Healing came in fragments, a hike where we scattered stones with wishes, his arm around me as thunder rumbled distant. Evelyn's olive branch arrived unexpectedly, a scrapbook of our childhood, photos glued with care. I was wrong, she said at delivery, eyes misty. He chose you because you make him whole. Tears shared, bridges mending. Dad's call followed, gruff, if it makes you happy. Invite us. Progress, incremental. As leaves turned, doubts resurfaced in dreams. Jordan leaving like before, engaged anew to safety. I woke sweating, his snores an anchor. Therapy with Mia's referral unpacked it. Abandonment wounds from kid days, bullies echoes. You're worthy, the counselor affirmed. Jordan joined a session, hands squeezing mine through disclosures. October Harvest Festival crowned the build-up. Booths of cider and caramel apples, hayrides under harvest moon. We announced the date publicly, mic in hand at the stage. Cheers mixed with murmurs, but Jordan's kiss silenced doubt. To us, he toasted, eyes locked. Winter wedding dawned crisp, snow dusting the mill like confectioner's sugar. Vows echoed. You saw me when I couldn't. Rings exchanged, simple bands glinting. Mia's toast. To love that defies. Dance under stars, town watching, some joining, others fading. In Willow Creek, we'd navigated storms, emerged scarred but strong. Jordan's gaze, once protective, now equal, partners in the change. Spring thawed Willow Creek's frost, but our marriage's honeymoon glow clashed with fresh tempests. Jordan's promotion at the store, managing expansions into online sales, meant late nights. Elena consulting remotely on branding, her emails and neutral presence. She's professional, he assured over breakfast, but jealousy nipped, irrational echoes of her ring on his finger. Mia laughed it off during studio brunches. Ghosts don't haunt if you salt the doors. Riley, ever practical, suggested date nights. Picnics by the lake, where we'd sketch together, his engineering doodles clashing with my portraits. Yet prejudices lingered like stubborn weeds. The library board meeting devolved when Hargrove pushed to review my queer history display. Inappropriate for families. Jordan burst in, uninvited, voice booming. Censor that. You censor our town. Backlash followed. Petitions circulated, whispers at checkout lines. I faltered, questioning my role. Am I pushing too hard? Mia's yoga circle that week focused on boundaries, poses grounding me. Advocacy isn't optional, it's oxygen. Friendship tested bounds when Theo invited us to a regional queer meetup in Syracuse. Panels on intersectionality, drag shows pulsing with bass. Jordan hesitated, small-town caution flaring. What if it changes things? The drive there crackled, but the event ignited. Stories mirroring ours, hands held unapologetically. On the way home, he squeezed my thigh. Needed that. We're not alone. But Mark's follow-up call soured it. Casual homophobia disguised as jokes, Jordan hanging up mid-rant. Told him off, he said, but the bruise lingered. Surprise struck via letter. My estranged aunt from California, out as lesbian, enclosing a check for the wedding we missed, and stories of her own hidden youth. Willow Creek shaped me wrong. Unshape it for you. Tears over tea with mom, who softened. Family's family. Dad's visit followed. Awkward fishing trip with Jordan. Rod's casting lines of dialogue. Treat him right. Dad grunted, approval veiled. Conflict peaked at the county fair, midway lights garish. Tyler, manning a booth, cornered me amid funnel cake grease. Marriage won't fix you. Fists clenched, but Jordan appeared, arm barring. Walk away, Ty. We're done. Scuffle averted, but adrenaline crashed into argument later. Why engage? Because he knows my scars. Jordan's fear of violence, echoing his protective past, unraveled. We sought counseling, sessions dissecting triggers. Protection's partnership now, the therapist noted. Elena's in-person visit for the store launch brought unintended drama. Over dinner, her and Sarah joining. Easy chemistry. She shared her coming out post-breakup. You too gave me courage. But a photo op for the local paper twisted. Headline, ex-fiancé blesses gay union. Sensationalism stoking rumors. Protests brewed at the store, picketers with signs send cells. Jordan stood firm, me beside, Mia chanting counter slogans. Riley filmed for social media, amplifying voices. The standoff ended peacefully, a deacon's intervention. Let love be. Summer solstice party at Mia's Mark turning, bonfire crackling, stories swapped. Theo proposed to his partner under stars. We toasted futures. Jordan pulled me aside, firelight dancing. No more doubts. None. I lied, then truth. Just growth. His kiss sealed it. Fall foliage framed anniversaries. Hikes revealing vulnerabilities. Jordan admitted wanderlust pangs. We planned a city getaway, balancing roots and reach. Holidays healed. Dad carving turkey, toasting to chosen families. Winter's Eve, snow blanketing. We renewed informal vows by the creek. Rings polished, promises deepened. Willow Creek watched, evolved or not. Love's drama, endless acts, but our stage, shared. Years folded like accordions in Willow Creek. Our marriage a tapestry woven tight, yet fraying at edges from time's insistent tug. By our third anniversary, Jordan's store thrived. E-commerce booming. Elena's designs shipping nationwide. But success bred envy. Competitors whispered unfair advantage, laced with barbs about our alternative lifestyle. Board meetings turned battlegrounds. I chaired the library expansion, advocating inclusive programming. Diversity draws donors, I argued, but faces hardened, votes split. Mia's transition to full-time activist, podcasting queer Midwest tales, pulled her to conferences, leaving Riley and me to anchor game nights. Absence amplifies, Riley said over chess, his quiet wisdom a steady pulse. Theo's wedding that spring was a jubilant affair. Vineyard vows. Us as best men. Speeches roasting small-town quirks. Jordan's toast. Love's not linear. It's a loop, circling back stronger. But misunderstanding brewed domestically. Jordan's late hours sparked my insecurity. Texts unread, dinners cold. Am I enough? I confronted over reheated lasagna. His exhaustion cracked. Always, but this pressure. Dad's health declining, stored debts. Evelyn's caregiving wore him thin. We moved her in temporarily, her passive comments, such a handful. You too, stinging like salt. Counseling resumed, unpacking resentment. Boundaries, not barriers, the therapist urged. Surprise arrived via adoption inquiry. A local teen, Jamie, non-binary and foster shuffled, seeking community. Mia connected us, Coffee chats evolved to mentorship. Jordan bonded over shop fixes, teaching hammer swings. Families made, he said, Jamie's grin mirroring his. But prejudice shadowed. School counselor questioning Jamie's placement with that couple. We advocated, petitions flying, town hall showdowns fierce. Hargrove's faction rallied, but youth voices, Theo's students, swayed the tide. Conflict crested during Harvest Festival redo, our booth showcasing queer artisan crafts. Vandals struck pre-dawn, slurs spray-painted, tints slashed. Dawn revealed chaos. Jordan's rage boiled, mine despair. Why here? Why now? Police dismissed as kids, but we knew better. Mia organized a rally, hundreds marching Main Street, banners bold. Jordan spoke, voice breaking. Hate hides fear. We choose love. Arrests followed. Teens, coerced by fathers. Restorative circles healed, apologies tearful. Tyler's redemption arc surprised. Post-rehab, he volunteered at the library, shelving with humility. Owning my shit, he muttered. Tentative truce formed. Beers shared. No romance, just amends. Elena's holiday visit with Sarah brought levity. Thanksgiving feast, recipes swapped. Dad, softer now, grilled her on designs. Mom baked pies for all. Progress, Jordan whispered, carving bird. Winter deepened bonds. Jamie's official fostering. Us as guardians, filled home with chaos. Pronouns practiced, late-night talks. Evelyn warmed, knitting scarves in our colors. Anniversary Eve, blizzard-bound, we danced in kitchen to old tunes. Through storms, he murmured. Willow Creek's drama, perpetual, but our narrative, resilient. Decades cusp in Willow Creek mirrored our evolution. Streets repaved, library expanded with a Pride archive wing. Mia's podcast syndicating nationally. Jordan's store franchised, Elena partnering formally. Her and Sarah's Syracuse visits routine. But prosperity invited complacency. We'd grown comfortable, routines rutting like wagon tracks. Jamie's high school graduation marked milestone. Cap tassel swinging, speech on found families defying odds. We beamed from front row, Evelyn dabbing eyes. Post-ceremony party at the mill buzzed. Theo, now principal, toasted futures. But Riley's diagnosis, early lymphoma, cast shadow. Mia crumbled in my arms. We rallied, fundraisers blending bake sales with benefit concerts. Jordan coordinated logistics, his protector's heart in overdrive. We'll beat this, he vowed at chemo vigils, Riley's hand frail in his. Personal tempests brewed. My novel, semi-autobiographical, queer coming of age, landed a small press deal, readings scheduled in Buffalo. Jordan's pride swelled, but envy flickered. Living the dream I shelved. Late arguments ensued, his resentment at roots, my guilt for flying. We chose this, I reminded, but words rang hollow. Mia's advice over crisis yoga. Growth's uncomfortable, lean in. Surprise conflict via Jamie's romance. Dating a trans girl from Elmira, parental pushback fierce. We mediated, hosting dinners. Awkward at first, then connective. Hargrove's son, ironically, outed as bi, sought counsel. Jordan mentored, cycles breaking. Town election drama peaked. Conservative challenger targeting woke initiatives. Our marriage poster child for attacks. Debates scorched, ads twisting facts. Jordan ran counter-campaign, Mia's media savvy amplifying. Election night, tallies ticking, victory narrow but sweet. Change wins, Theo cheered at watch party. Tyler's full circle, proposing to a barista, inviting us, acceptance earned. Elena's baby announcement, via Sarah, sparked our talk. Kids? Jamie's sibling vibes stirred it. Consultations followed, fostering expansions. Riley's remission brought spring renewal, picnic toasts, scars badges. Evelyn's health rallied. She moved to assisted living, legacy scrapbooks gifted. Anniversary hike, wildflowers nodding. Jordan knelt anew. Not proposal, but recommitment. Endless chapters. Willow Creek, once cage, now canvas, our strokes bold. Twilight years in Willow Creek unfolded gentle, like pages turning in a well-loved book. Jamie thrived in college. Gender studies major, summer internships at Mia's network, visits filled with debates and hugs. Our home echoed with stories. Theo's school reforms, Lena's farm co-op blooming. Jordan semi-retired, consulting for Elena's firm. I toured the novel sequel, returns funding library scholarships. Mia's mayoral run succeeded, policies inclusive, pride ordinances, ally trainings. Riley, cancer-free years on, co-authored her memoir. Family expanded, Jamie's wedding to their partner, us walking aisle, tears blurring vows. Old ghosts revisited softly. Dad's passing brought closure, funeral eulogy Jordan's, honoring complexities. Mom relocated nearby, bridge building over tea. Tyler's family grew, playdates with tots, past playground fodder. Surprise legacy. Historical Society unearthed our childhood letters. Jordan's unsent confessions, my sketches. Exhibit launched, Hidden Hearts of Willow Creek. Opening night, crowds wept. Hargrove attended, handshake tentative. Conflicts mellowed to reflections. Jordan's knee surgery grounded him. I nursed. Reciprocity healing old imbalances. Therapy evolved to legacy planning. Wills, stories for Jamie. Elena's visits with toddler in tow. Mini Sarah, rainbow onesies, sparked grandparent urges, fulfilled vicariously. Town fair, now Unity Fest, crowned our silver anniversary. Stage dedication, dance under lights. Final hook, Creekside, autumn gold, Jordan's gaze unchanged. Something did change, he said. Us, better. Willow Creek's drama, love's long arc, bending toward light.